Writing is one of the easiest hobbies to get into. All you need is a computer or a journal and a small amount of free time to put your thoughts on paper. Some people wish to take their writing to the next level, and this leads to them using sites like Wattpad and AO3 to display their work to a larger audience. However, for most of these people, the likes and the comments they get on these sites will be as far as they get into the writing community, never truly making a living off of their work, and never having writing as anything other than a hobby. Most people are okay with that, but you're not, and that's why you're watching this video, because you wish to make the jump from just another writer to a tried and true author, making money off of your work and being able to own your achievements proudly. However, there is one thing you have to understand before we get started. There is nothing wrong with being a writer. In fact, for many people, they don't even get that far, forever trapped in their journals and their notes app. So the fact that you took that first step into writing and wrote something is the perfect start. However, that shouldn't be enough to make you content with sitting on your hands. Instead, getting started should pump you up to improve. Things like formatting, character building, and world building are challenges for even the most seasoned of professionals with Hollywood movies under their belts. As a beginner, it'll be all you can do to make a professional piece that you can be proud to share with audiences. Writers tend to focus on very cosmetic things that lacked impact in the grand scheme of their narratives. Long, unnecessary descriptions of outfits that the characters are wearing. A desire to stick to an imaginary rule set that's been fed to them on various social media platforms. Show don't tell, just write, roadmap everything. This as a whole could make the writing process feel more corporate, less creative and more like you're crossing off a checklist, thus contributing to the loss of passion in the craft and a mediocre story overall that makes all of the same mistakes as the ones that came before it and the ones that will come after it. That's just not good writing. But with that question comes the obvious follow-up. What is good writing? The term good writing is something that is very subjective. In my opinion, someone who makes good writing would be knowledgeable enough to realize that I used the word term wrong in my last sentence. For others, good writing can be something completely different. Simply put, good writing is hard to nail down, but that fact alone makes it all the more important. In my opinion, a good writer is someone who is attentive to their work. They pay close attention to detail, whether it be before or during editing, and it is extremely difficult to see them writing themselves into a corner. They don't sacrifice quality for time, but instead have a good understanding of their own limitations and adjust their quality control accordingly. They don't waste time stressing out over having a brilliant first draft, and instead focus entirely on giving themselves something to work with during the editing process. Writing is time-consuming, and it has its ups and downs. Experiencing the worlds you create and seeing it all come together over the course of the process is the main allure of writing in and of itself. And that's the reason why seeking perfection from every project you make is unrealistic, and could harm your enjoyment of the act of writing to begin with. There is no reason whatsoever to create a unique world with unique characters and then water it down to be just like everyone else's because of something like insecurity or uncertainty. There is no pressure to make the perfect piece, because writing is less about skill and more about staying power. Writing, at the end of the day, is all about marketing, and as such, there's a heavy emphasis on social appeal. It would be nothing for a skilled author to look at his less skilled contemporaries and suggest that he deserves the fame and recognition more because his work is objectively better. It uses bigger words, the characters are well written, and overall it is a better piece of objective writing. This means not, however, because people don't read for these things. Allow me to explain. It is extremely easy to get so caught up in this idea of superiority, of being better and deserving more, that you forget to create an actual interesting project in the first place. Think about AI writing. It is designed to be as objectively good as possible. In isolation, some of its lines are better than anything most humans can cook up. But AI-written books sell like absolute shit. There is no interest in these projects. This is because the writing, no matter how objectively good, sucks, because it's all seasoning with no meat to back it up. There's no staying power because after the allure of the wording and the English class writing techniques wears off, there is objectively nothing. A nothing sandwich. A work with staying power is one that isn't afraid to make a new dent in the writing community. A work written by a person with ideas and a desire to show them. It's not another mob boss thirst trap. Or maybe it is, but it has something interesting to say in spite of that. It's something uniquely irreplicable, made by an individual who puts creativity first and markets around that instead of the other way around. A good writer is one that has a unique understanding of the written word, not the one that is taught to you by some old lady in a classroom, but one that is shaped by their experiences and the way that they see the world. And good writing is an example of that understanding, that mentality, and it is writing that has the ability to share that mentality with a wider audience and make them understand, make them form a connection with the writer. Simply put, good writing is interesting. Stephen King is the most complete author in the world, in my opinion. A large portion of his books have gotten film or TV adaptations, and those that haven't almost certainly will eventually. When you read his work, his skill is shown in every paragraph on every page, and his work ethic is that of someone 2 times younger than him. The man doesn't know how to stop. And then, on the other end of the spectrum, is Colleenhoover, the current punching bag of the internet writing community, famous for her empty narratives and the fact that she pumps out books faster than a Wattpad user on crack. These two are completely different authors in terms of skill and renown, and yet Colleenhoover is still filthy rich. This is because, in spite of her skills, her work captivates both an audience of people that hate her and people that love her. It's not good by any stretch of the word, but when people are making 3-hour-long videos talking about how shit your book is, it's basically the same thing as someone making a 10-minute video about how good your book is. I'm not saying you should write like Colleenhoover or anything, but I am saying that her confidence and marketing got her to heights that most people would kill for. And that is the difference between a writer and an author. Say what you want about Colleenhoover, but the lady's not afraid to shovel her shit to the world. She markets it with all of the enthusiasm of someone twice her net worth, and her books sell like crazy in spite of how many people seem to hate her work. This is simply put because in spite of their quality, her work is interesting. It's interesting in the same way scrolling on Wattpad and reading X-rated SpongeBob fanfiction is interesting. You want to see why people don't like her. You want to see if people are over-exaggerating, and that right there, whether you like it or not, is you taking an interest in her work. To truly make that jump from writer to author, you must learn how to take confidence in your work and use that confidence to generate interest. Putting yourself out there is scary, and if it's your first time, it's a change that can come with a large amount of anxiety. But at the end of everything, it's the people who move past that concern, that worry, that manage to take the leap from just another writer slugging it out in the slums of AO3 to an author building a dedicated audience and leaving an impact on the writing world. Your writing should be personal. As scary as it is, you should put a piece of yourself in everything that you write, because that's what the people want to see. They want to see the worlds that you've created, the characters that you've grown, and the imagination that you have. Whether you're objectively good or objectively bad, whether you're self-publishing or going big with a large publishing company, at the end of everything, the reason you are just a writer and not an author is because you're too scared to take that next step, to improve and see what happens, to break out of your shell and show the world who you really are. Congratulations, you have successfully made it to the end of my first YouTube video. And with that achievement, you get to hear me talk at you for a little bit because, frankly, I'm just ecstatic, I guess. I'm fresh off the editing table. It took me a good couple days to do this, primarily because of issues with software and things like that, but for the most part, I got it down, I guess. So thank you for watching. I put a strange amount of work into this really short video, but it was a good way for me to explore my skills, understand my limitations, and get a better idea of what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. I'm planning on bringing more videos like this to you in the future, so if you do want to stick around, I suggest leaving a like, a comment, and maybe even subscribing to help me push this out to more people and to further push me forward in my content creation journey. I've been writing for literal years of my life, probably ever since I've been in elementary school, but to be honest, making content on it on YouTube is something that I've never honestly considered. I'm lucky enough to have access to the technology that I do, and I'm lucky enough to, I guess, be blessed with the courage to put this out there. And frankly, there's a lot of things about this video that I'm not completely happy with. But to say that it is a first video, and to say that it is my introduction, my extended hand to you all, I like to think that I did a pretty good job. Normally I'd have more to say during things like this, but to be honest, I just kind of want to let you go on with your time, and I've pretty much said all I needed to say during the video. So yeah, thank you for watching. You can call me John Sage, it's my pen name, and I think it's really fucking cool, so. But yeah, have a good day, and thank you for watching. Peace out.